Rossi, literally winning the championship next year. I think Marc on the GP25 is going to be so good, so willing to engage Marquez. He's been willing to go toe-to-toe with Marquez. Minutes or so time, and I do believe that Fabio Di Giannantonio is going to be accompanying us.
And, you know, we just went for it, sat down, and they told us to pull some cards. And he's owned a team and been team manager for like since the early 90s. Being a team owner, it's not ad manager. It's not the same as being a team manager in a fact.
Not sure what he went on to fulfil all of his potential. Of course, he did. Two-time world champion.
This one's interesting, isn't it? Marc passing Enea Bastianini.
He wasn't happy at a beast at all, was he?
Yeah, that's a feud that certainly carried on past the checkered flag Grand Prix. Spent most of it trying to help Jorge Martin, or certainly that was how Enea. Jorge, I finished 3 seconds ahead of him, and he was on the best bike on the grid.
You know, so why didn't Enea beat me? You know, on a GP24.
Hey, in a very emotional press conference that he was retiring at the end of 6 is being won by Aleix Espargaro. Now I know Aleix, he's a big fan of Japan, a big fan of some of his hobbies. We know that Aleix is hugely passionate about cycling. I mean, the guy busts out.
Having so much testing available to them, of course they would, I guess, hope to have been able, no doubt, doing private testing. Of course he'll be out on track at the shakedown in Malaysia. A package over to Honda will certainly be an asset to that operation.
Concession rankings, they get 260 rear tyres when you have got it right on the tyres are the most important thing on the bike, and you don't have the actual tyres and run them a long time, you know, get everything out of them. And you've got 260 tyres compared to the other extreme, for example, Ducati 170, so 9
end of season charge, but ultimately got him up to 8th place overall in the championship. I mean, of course, you know, as an ex-rider, he is
point between the bike and the rider.
This is something, you know, edit on what Aprilia have achieved.
Is joining from Aprilia as the new 10th. So how important is that? I mean, obviously we've seen so many factories now they've influenced by.
Definitely is something that you need the best people with the best experience on the field. Tires, a lot of Formula 1 technology.
Some cats in 2025 and good luck in particular for Buriram, and always a pleasure. Have a great winter, and we will see you in 2025. Thank you very much. Already on course for the boss's expectations. He said what, around, I don't know, under 40 minutes time we are hoping to be. That is the general reaction, is that the first time that a rider gets to experience. When he made his debut in Valencia last year, he came to his media scrum and he just looked happy. Finish 3rd overall at the championship. And I think it was just the look that told Marc. He said the first guy he ever overtook in MotoGP was Marc Marquez in Qatar, wasn't it?
and we were performing very good, so it means that what he did, you know, it's very difficult. The most difficult thing in MotoGP is to not gonna surrender ever. And this is something that is amazing, because and he was fighting for the top 5 in the championship with this amazing. He is a very good guy to make team building. Everyone loves him. Championship, it means how good is Jorge. Win the championship with the sun.
You know that Marc he's got his own specific demands. He likes to.
They don't know the tires. They don't know how they feel with hot.
And sometimes Marquez, because we had the same bike. But honestly, it's have to improve, and for sure I will continue to study them.
And what?
My crew chiefs, but also Gigi has always said that I'm quite precise on the comments. So in your pocket, you've got security for the next 2 years, you're a factory control
session, and you're sort of doing the debrief, and then the 9 times world champion, the GOAT.
So what's my best friend that is coming out to all the races, Fabio? I said disponibile, I don't know, super free to chat, let's say.
The bikes again, see what's going on inside the garage. Thanks for turning up. We've loved your company. Welcome, our door is always open, Fabio. Thanks very much. Have a great winter, and as we say,
thank you. So guys, this season in a campaign where he was hotly tipped to be the future, to the point that Fermin Aldeguer was already confirmed to be on next year's MotoGP grid.
Marquez has been at the top of the leaderboard for quite some time. He had to wait 1,043 days though.
Demonstration when the Yamaha wasn't as competitive as
the faster one on track. So we needed to be quite. Sometimes I expect that also from our new technical director to push and find
their pole positions. Do you think it's realistic?
Mike, so I think it's realistic to close the gap. I think it's to put pressure now. The priority now is to understand the bike, to let that, but for sure we don't give up.
Massimo, we know you're always a very incredibly busy person. You're there. Ciao. Thank you very much to Massimo Rivola. Exciting time.
Together, all of the expertise off the bike with Fabio Sterling times he's been through, from a point where it seemed almost a given that Marc Marquez would only be fighting at the start of 2020. The many surgeries for the World Championship will satisfy the 8 times World Champion next year.
Frankie Morbidelli, of course, in 4th place. We haven't mentioned Bass Frankie too much. Has been his best work so far. You're the select
so far with that last run. Marco Bezzechi now has clocked up 82 laps.
You know what? There wasn't a heap. It was more riders confirming what an engineer said to me that used to work on. They're back on. Couldn't quite.
Yeah, he's left one family to another. Yeah, that looks like it definitely. It's 2024 done and dusted for Marc Marquez.
Going on,
the crowd on their feet
and lose that technology. The little 5 pump thing.
Marc Marquez has forgotten this is practice start section at the end of the day.
So this is GP25 heading out
for this year. The GP23 that Marc Marquez campaigned throughout the year.
You know, we will give some good times for.
All right, he sounds rather happy and content, doesn't he? Great news to hear Fabio Quartararo. He sort of knuckled down, got his head down this year, has really impressed me.
Loses cool, like quite easily, you know, if things weren't going right, and losing his rag regularly, temper, I mean, and then at the end times, you know, but he works a different way, you know, he's more mature about it, turning up, because, okay, they've got to learn a little more about aerodynamics, and clearly the direction is less electronics and more in
So just how close the contact is between rider and tech guru.
Humble, quiet, like a new 24 and GP25,
Just leading there on the way past.
One of the original bikes from the race weekend. And on the other side,
former world champion, of course.
Rivola, they will be in deep discussions throughout the winter to try and master Delhi, who's still on the GP24, of course, that he raced this year. Quartararo here on screen 4.
We have a lot of work with the Pharma guys and everything, and the new team and the new project like this coming for 2025. But we will try to
1-3, the best from Bez in a first 23 lap stint as Fabio Quartararo for Suzuki, Yamaha and for Aprilia. If he was to make it for a different brand, well, that would be a herd. But I know that you do a fantastic job for
Thank
both.
you very much,
It's
guys.
great
Thank
to
you.
see you. A pleasure to have you. And
pleasure.
enjoy the winter and the Christmas break. Ducati Garage. There's been a change since you last joined us. When we came off air for our lunch break, it was
for a little bit of reference, that is about a 10th and a half down on the pole position time.
Points made prizes for Martin Bagnaia being left to rue a whole bunch of a sky-high din.
Team fully deserves to win this World Championship. Took the lead of the World Championship back at the second round of the season in summer break, where Pecco Bagnaia
Choices. So the final result is difficult to say, but I
form there, wasn't he? Fabio Di Giannantonio, and as we mentioned, what a journey he has been on. He was in the commentary box. The split second that Jorge Martin just picked up the gas was taking a bit of weight off the front end of that Michelin, and down he went. So
Rins right behind him on the factory Yamaha. Of course, we spoke a little bit earlier about Ayagura's road up into MotoGP lead-up squad. Won the championship at the age of 16 before then getting an
how highly Delinia rates the teenager. Fabio Yamaha back to the front, and as we mentioned, they do need help. Sepang was the one and only two when Fabio Quartararo was still a serious world champion contender. Well, and the final Grand Prix, an image from trackside of what is left of Enea Bastianini's factory KTM. Just the brute power, 300 horsepower. Once again, a brief experience there on board with Jorge Martin. I was hoping we might just follow him around this Barcalona shoulders to put together an RSGP motorcycle which can hopefully, for his sake, see Jorge Martin put up a strong fight to retain that #1 plate next year. We are now then into the final hour of the 2024 track action of MotoGP. The final hour of our first preparations for what promises to be a phenomenal 2025 MotoGP World Championship. And into that final hour we go, as with Alex Marquez leading the way, a 138.803. Although we did see Alex take a tumble at turn 7. Fabio Quartararo second. Eko Bagnaia in third place. Quartararo at the moment one of several riders that's inside the pits. The factory Yamaha slack being picked up at the moment by Alex Rins, who's fifth quickest, an impressive 139.568.
I think a much needed break for Quartararo, who's done 67 laps over the course of the day. Not many have done more than that so far today. Marc Bezzechi's done 75, Ralph Fernandez 69 laps. Other than that, I don't think anybody else has done as much mileage today as Quartararo. Outstanding as the 2021 MotoGP World Champion.
Exactly right at the moment. So the garage door is going down. He wasn't exiting. Myself and Simon were there waiting, watching, hoping as the tyre warmers came off that there was going to be a brand new soft rear tyre. Go out and smash everybody with an unbelievable lap time. So they're all thinking about it for the next 2 months before we then meet up again in Sepang. But we were getting ahead of ourselves. It was used tyres completely.
We'll keep a close eye on what's happening down that factory. Drone at 5 p.m. local time here in Barcelona. That will end the timed on-track action. So will it be Alex Marquez that will lead the way at the end of the season? There is, though, a 50-minute practice start session which will immediately follow today's action, which we will be staying.